I don't know what steps can be taken in that regard, Sean, with the executive, so that you don't have to do any of that, and that a group would drive that forward. You said you're having a little bit of difficulty with the executive right now and getting commitment of, no difficulty? No. Yeah. I guess I would have preferred to see that kind of work be more of the solution than making the change, but that's fine. That's my 2 cents.
Okay. Any other discussion on the motion? The motion is to change to 11 p.m. All in favor of that? Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
With your season.
Yeah, thank you. Hope to see you.
Correspondence. 7.1, we have a letter received here from the Tender Loving Colonel Cat Community Association that would asking us to vote every day for that so that they can get grant money to help them out with the feral cat control.
Receive and talk.
Seconder, Councillor Cook. Questions? Councillor Day?
Yes, well, I recognize that council has decided that they're not going to spend money to neuter cats that are feral, and I understand the rationale behind that, but I do think that it would be good for us as council to support the initiatives of those individuals from the public who are making efforts to try to address a problem which seems to be serious in some people's worlds. So I just think we'd be wise and to encourage them in whatever way we can. So if it's within your capabilities to vote for the City and Community Fund, I'd encourage you to do so.
Councillor Scott?
I just want to say that I did send council the actual, I went looking for it and it took me a while to find it. So I did send you the actual address to go and vote. We did this with an Optimus group. Ilderton was putting a splash park in, so they had gone to Aviva for funds and were successful in getting it. So it does depend on the votes, and it's a helpful.
It's a helpful thing with votes. I know I just received from the county the Children's Safety Village. The OPP is raising money, and they're also asking for people to vote, and it's the same community fund. I don't know whether it's a different class.
They have sections.
They have different sections,
things.
so
Yeah.
you could vote for 2 at once. If
That would be, this one would be under animals, that would be under children, so. Send that email address out and then we can vote for that while we're voting.
I sent it to you.
Thank you.
Receive and file, all in favor of it? Carried, thank you. These are correspondence that refer to staff for resolution or report. 7.2, the Ben Sue treatment notice addendum. Councillor sent it to staff. Okay. Second Day. Questions on that? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. 7.3, John and Cecile Howard, they're resurfacing of Mass Drive, and 7.4, I guess, are the same concern. Councillor Ullman?
Well, I know we have some unhappy folks on Vance Drive. Many of them are sitting here in the audience tonight, and I may not necessarily make them happy with my comments. I guess we've done this the tar and chip program for all of the roads along in West Bazanquet. Lake Valley Grove, Sunnyvale was done last year. It was there were several issues there. The road, it did not bind. Horrendous dust. It was a mess. It took a year, but as staff indicated in the letter that we did send out to residents, things have finally started to bind. I guess we have to look at what these roads are. I guess it's just to get the right lingo here. We're looking at a secondary road or a non-arterial road, not a bumpkin road, but a secondary road. And we have a road needs study. We done this surface treatment, and that's all it is. So if we're going to redo the roads now, then they all need to be redone. I think we've all had a look at all of the roads. I know staff have as well, and I think we need to respond to the complaints here and the issues. I did contact staff because there were some things that John had indicated in his letter here. Did we do two layers? The answer is yes, we did. Was there staff supervision? And yes, there was. So I think there does definitely need to be a response to these ratepayers as to what the standard is, what we have done, what the issues are. I mean, these roads need to be totally reconstructed if we're going to deal with all of the issues there. Lake Valley Grove, virtually a lot of the road base never should have been tarred and chipped in the first place 13 years ago. And maybe we do need to look at another road needs study when the time comes. I mean, it's not going to happen tomorrow. The recommendation is every 5 years we should be upgrading that study. And if we do that, then I think we need an engineer to make some comments as to the implications of reconstructing, what it's going to cost, what it's going to mean, what the standards should be. But right now, we're looking at $100,000, I believe, to do some kind of temporary treatment. What we're doing, I guess I would ask Brent, the tar and chip, how long do we expect it to last? When it finally does bind, because of course it hasn't binded totally
Well, it's
yet.
a surface treatment to help the road, and we expect to gain an extra 10 years of life of the road.
Do we really think we'll get 10 years out of it?
You know, theoretically we should, but practically probably not.
No, I'll make a motion.
Counselor Lawson.
And just through you to Brent, this tar and chip thing has really become a nightmare, hasn't it? And I don't know, is it cost efficiencies, is it the type of treatment that we're looking at because of the non-base on some of these roads, or are we looking at it because concrete asphalt is just cost prohibitive on a road that isn't a major thoroughfare? What's the rationale behind it? I know Councillor Russell, and I agree with him. He said at some point we have to sit down and say, how do we want our municipality paved? How do we want it to look? How do we want it to perform? And we can keep band-aiding and using cheap approaches that we have, or we can look at something meaningful, but that's big bucks. So, and I know you put out a nice little information sheet for South Cod on the difference between tar and chip and asphalt concrete.
Well, part of it is it's working in municipality, working with public funds, which are limited dollars, and you're trying to accomplish as much as you can with a limited budget. When we did the roads needs study, we identified that there's in excess of $5 million worth of road work we should be doing every year. The engineer recommended that we do $2 million every year. Right now, we're doing less than that because we need to keep the tax levels at a certain point.
And that's 10% of the budget, isn't it?
Yeah.
2 million a year is 10% of the budget.
And tar and chip was chosen as a surface treatment method to extend the life of these roadways so we can defer those costs into the future and get as much done in a year as we can, improving road surfaces with solutions that are ideal. Probably not. Everybody wants to live on a paved road, but tar and chip is an adequate surface treatment to extend the life of a road, considering the budget constraints that we have and maintaining the tax levels that we want to maintain. We're trying to manage our resources effectively and extend the life cycle of our assets.